This would be a good time to have Psychic on Farigiraf. I think Growl might prove to not be very helpful. It's a tricky position, too. You know what? I'm just going to go for it. They might not have a clear Amulet. They don't. Ha! Let's go. VGC Legends. Once again, it's the series where I spin a wheel, I get a random legendary or mythical Pokemon. I speed build a team with that Pokemon, and I try that team out on the Regulation J ladder, all for two reasons. One, that I just like legendary and mythical Pokemon and want to give each one a bit of a spotlight. And two, that by trying a lot of different teams, some good, some bad, some in between, have a fun little gaming adventure here and maybe learn some things along the way. Last time was a wild one. Kyogre played some very hacksy games and then stabilized a little bit. I don't think Calm Mind Kyogre held up super well in the format, but we still got some wins with it, both deserved and not. Today, new video, new wheel spin. Let's see what we get. Oh. Okay. Huh. I don't know how I'm going to do the thumbnail for this one, but that's a problem for later. Okay, as is so often the case, the first choice to make here is which form to build around. Some Pokemon featured in this series have 2 forms, some 3, some even 4. Arceus has 18 forms. It's the only one in the series with that many because Silvally is not in Scarlet and Violet. And speaking of Silvally, before anyone writes a comment, I mean, feel free to write a comment, I like the engagement, but before you come yell at me about my pronunciation of Arceus, for me, the thing that decided it once and for all was Silvally's ability, RKS system. RKS, play on Arceus. I think the reason that's the English pronunciation is that they didn't want a bunch of kids saying Arse. But yeah, that settled it. I was never quite sure until Gen 7, and then RKS system settled it for me once and for all. That's my take. You don't have to agree, but that's how it's going to be here. Anyway, normal type Arceus is pretty good. The difference between Arceus is just Arceus forms is just type. The normal one can hold an item that isn't a plate. It's the only one that can, even though you can't see the plates here. They will have to be there if I use one of these. And Judgment is a normal type attack by default, but a plate also changes its type. So, you can see these are level 100 because I had to add them in as text to get more than 6 Pokemon on this team. Okay. Normal Arceus is a good bet because you can do Swords Dance Extreme Speed stuff. I'm just not feeling very inclined to do that because I already have a video with that. That's the very first thing I tried in Reg J. I think we can eliminate Bug. I'm not really feeling Dark or Dragon. Or Fighting. Fire. Flying. Could do Ghost. Grass. Ground could maybe be fun, but I don't know what I'd do with it necessarily. Rock. Steel. I think it's going to be one of these 4. I don't think it's going to be Ghost. I think I'll do a video with Ghost Arceus, but I think I'll do it another time. Electric could be fun for Electric type Judgment. And look at this move pool. Electric type Judgment and Ice Beam coverage. But I think what I want to do... It's a little unfortunate that this is coming right after Kyogre, because I did come up with this earlier, when I was sort of idly thinking about what to do with different Pokemon. I think I want to try Calm Mind Fairy Arceus. We're going back to the Calm Mind stuff. Of course, it cannot have leftovers. It will have to have a Pixie Plate. But yeah, I thought... You know, I sort of idly think about the series sometimes outside of recording. I was like, I wonder what I'll do when I get Arceus. And I thought, normal type, extreme speed. Nah, I already have a video with that. And the next thing I thought of was fairy type, Calm Mind, and I think that is what I want to do. Judgment. Probably recover and protect. Nothing's immune to fairy, so I think it's okay to just have only that coverage. Not a ton of PP on this attack, but I think that's okay too. For the Terra type, so this part, the reason I've chosen fairy really is that fairy is a good neutral defensive type. There's not much in the format that hits it super effectively. I could just stick with Terra Fairy, get the extra damage on Judgment. I really don't hate that idea. Or I could just do like Terra Poison or something for defense. I'll think about that later. So Darkrai is a threat. Even though I'm running Fairy Arceus, Darkrai is faster and threatens with Dark Void. I might want Wide Guard or something. Yeah, actually, I probably don't need to play speed control games with Darkrai, right? If I just have a good Wide Guard user that doesn't like fold to Shadow Rider, then I can Wide Guard a Judgment. Although I think some Darkrai are running Hypnosis. Option B is pair this with Miraidon as the other restricted partner, and then I can have Electric Terrain. I think that works. I think I like that a little bit more, actually, because, yeah, I don't think Wide Guard alone stops Darkrai from sleeping things. Let's check what gets Wide Guard. Let's just take a look. I know no restricted Pokemon get it, except these ones. It's something else that restricted Pokemon don't get. No mythical Pokemon get Wide Guard. There we go. I definitely think I feel more inspired. Garg is kind of fun. Well, maybe that's not the right way to put it. Iron Valiant is kind of fun. Iron Valiant is not bad as a threat into Darkrai too, because it'll be faster after a booster energy, but I think I like Miraidon as the restricted partner, honestly mostly for the electric terrain, but the immediate offensive pressure from it is also pretty good. I can even think about Terra Electric Miraidon because I have a strong Fairy type restricted already. After that, I think I like Volcarona on this team. Volcarona gives me redirection. It gives me Steel Resist that redirects attacks away from Arceus. And it gives me a threat into Zacian and Zamazenta, which are big problems right now for this duo. Zacian probably more than Zamazenta, but both of them are pretty troublesome. So I think Volcarona is very valuable here. I think I can give it a Rocky Helmet. I think I can give it Flame Body for sure. Maybe like Terra Water, because it can still resist Steel after Terastallizing then. Let's go Specs Miraidon. Volt Switch. I could run Discharge, honestly. I'll think about it. I'd have to protect Arceus, unless I want to make it Terra Ground Arceus, which honestly I could do. And then Earth Power would be great coverage with Judgment, but I actually think I'd rather stick with these 4 moves. But it's something to think about. Since I have Miraidon, I also can think about things like Iron Hands and Iron Treads even. Let's look at future Paradox Pokemon. I could run Iron Jugulis. Tailwind is probably not the best Tailwind setter for this team, although actually the cover into Shadow Rider Calyrex that Iron Jugulis gives me might be nice. Actually, Iron Jugulis with Miraidon is a pretty good Shadow Rider Darkrai answer, isn't it? And also Jugulis would be immune to Sableye Prankster stuff. I'm starting to talk myself into Iron Jugulis. Could also Snarl. I think it's fun enough to give it a go. Not the most sound team building reasoning, but I think it works. Probably want to give more cover to Arceus. I mean, Arceus has such good stats. I'm not sweating too much my usual stuff like Grassy Terrain. Grassy Terrain might be good, or Sinistcha. But I could use a ground type to pair with Miraidon if I'm going to use Discharge. Maybe an Ursaluna. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe Iron Jugulis isn't the answer. It just seems like a fun idea, though, you know? Okay, back to basics. Fairy Arceus. It wants to set up. I'm not really that sold on the Terra Ground, actually. Wants to click Judgment. Miraidon gives a cover through offensive pressure. Volcarona gives a cover through redirection and synergy. I could just like slap a Rapid Strike or Shifu on this for some physical offense and then a grass type and get a Firewater Grass Core. That's a pretty basic way I could build this out. How do I beat Magearna? Volcarona helps, depending on the set. Probably want Fiery Dance on this one. Miraidon helps, but not in Trick Room. What's Magearna's speed stat? 65. So actually, if I run an Ursaluna, then I underspeed Magearna and I can threaten it in Trick Room. That's a good reason to run Ursaluna right there. I could just do double bear. Ursaluna, Rapid Strike, or Shifu. That covers a lot of bases. It means I don't have any Trick Room to set up myself for the Ursaluna, but it seems like a decent number of people are running hard Trick Room on this ladder, so that might not be the end of the world. I could run Farigiraf. I don't know that I need Farigiraf on a team like this. I could actually just run Farigiraf instead of Iron Jugulus. That also shuts down Sableye Prankster. In fact, it shuts it down into both of my Pokemon, and it's still a Shadow Rider check. And then Ursaluna, Rapid Strike, or Shifu. This kind of just turned into a Miraidon team with Fairy Arceus tacked on. In fact, I'm not sure Fairy Arceus really fits the game plan very well at this point. But I like Farigiraf for speed control. I think this is worth a shot. Maybe a little disjointed, but maybe Arceus can work as like a late game win con. I'm gonna put Discharge on this. I'm gonna put Electro Drift. I'm gonna put Draco Meteor. We're gonna relieve it of the Fairy type burden by having a different Fairy type restricted. Not that it's really a burden to Miraidon, but we're just gonna try something different. I think this team might come out a little bit incoherent, but that could be fun too, right? Rage Powder, Fiery Dance, Struggle Bug, because I got rid of Snarl, and Protect. This can be Terra Ground, so I can click Discharge next to it. With an Electric Seed. Can't run Electric Seed on Arceus, unfortunately, because I need the Pixie Plate. What moves do I want on this? Definitely Foul Play, definitely Trick Room. Probably Helping Hand. And then just a standard Psychic Stab. I think it's okay. Growl is funny. It could actually help Arceus set up with that. Helping Hand. Foul Play. Should I run Growl? Let's just do it. And Trick Room. This, Terra, Ghost, Flame Orb, you know the set. We'll go min speed. This, Choice Scarf. We'll go fast. You know the set. Let's jump to the finished team. Looking back over it, this team kind of feels like a stream of consciousness. But hey, that's fine, right? Let's go. I stopped mid-sentence there because I almost clicked on stop recording by mistake. Oops. Arceus, Calyrex, Shadow Rider form. Incineroar, Smeargle, Urshifu, Farigiraf. I've been loving the creative and chaotic teams on this ladder, but this basic composition I'm starting to recognize, starting to get very familiar to me. I think we'll be seeing a lot of it. How do I beat it? Well, I think I like just leading my restricteds into it, to be honest. Miraidon can threaten big damage into pretty much anything and it prevents spores. It does have to worry about Fake Out, but not if I bring Farigiraf, which is nice anyway because it checks the Shadow Rider. And then I could do her Shifu. I could do her... I think I like her Shifu here. We'll see how it goes. Urshifu's a little bit rough into Arceus. I don't think it takes an extreme speed very well, but with the Choice Scarf, it outspeeds and threatens big damage into a lot of their other stuff. Incineroar, Shadow Rider lead. By the way, of all mythical Pokemon to not be shiny locked. Check this one out. That yellow and pink coloring is really something in the fairy type form. Okay, well, they can only fake out one of my restricteds here. But perhaps I don't want to let Miraidon get Astral Barraged anyway. I'll go Farigiraf in that slot. Then they can't fake out anything, yeah. Oh, nasty plot Shadow Rider. Well, I mean, that's not really surprising. I don't know why I acted surprised by it. I'll just go for another Calm Mind, and I'll go for Foul Play into Calyrex. They might Terra Dark. Maybe I'd double up here, actually, at Judgment and Foul Play. They don't Terra. But also, Judgment will break their Focus Sash if they have one. They don't. Okay, but it was a reasonable guess. Flare Blitz almost takes out Arceus. I don't love this trade for me, but we do get rid of their Shadow Rider. Who's next? Oh, also they can't... I just realized they can't Extreme Speed Farigiraf. Armor Tail also stops that. I mean, of course it does, but somehow I just realized. That said, Farigiraf is in a lot of danger here against their Shifu, and I don't have a great out. I guess I can Terra Ground. Take the Wicked Blow better. Honestly, I think that's reasonable. I'll click Judgment into her Shifu. I don't know if they'll let me get away with it, but I'm down to try. I could click Growl, but that doesn't help me into Wicked Blow. And I don't want to Trick Room because I have my fast Pokemon in the back, so I'll just Foul Play her Shifu. Maybe I break a Focus Sash on that. Farigiraf does survive the Wicked Blow after Terra, and Judgment breaks a Focus Sash. Arceus practically takes down 2 Pokemon before dropping. With Farigiraf doubling up, we get those KOs. I think that's a fine performance for Arceus in this game. Now I get her Shifu. I can Surging Strike their Incineroar. Their Arceus still can't Extreme Speed yet. I'm just going to Foul Play. I'm tempted to click Growl, but it could have a clear Amulet. Let's see what they have here. I mean, they probably have some kind of coverage move on Arceus, right? In fact, if it's Shadow Claw, then Farigiraf has given up full immunity to it by Terastallizing, but also would have been KO'd by now anyway, so what does it matter? Take out Incineroar. Arceus clicks Flare Blitz into Farigiraf. Okay. Now it can Extreme Speed things, but I have Miraidon at full. This is the last turn of Electric Terrain, though. I timed that badly. They could Protect to get out of the terrain, but if they don't, this is a strong Electro Drift. Oh, also if they Protect, I Surging their Arceus, so that's not really safe for them. Extreme Speed, but they never got any boosts. It doesn't take out her Shifu. I get a Surging Strikes into Arceus anyway, and then at 50%, it doesn't take that terrain boosted Electro Drift. Nice. Hey, my Arceus did put in work in that one, and was able to create openings for its teammates to clean up. You'll have to see it. Koraidon, Shadow Rider, Calyrex, Rillaboom, Incineroar, Walking Wake, Volcarona. The teams are definitely starting to feel more serious as I climb the ladder. I guess the really chaotic random chance stuff is lower down. Well, Fairy Arceus should be strong into this. Flare Blitz Koraidon is an issue, though. I think I'm good with leading... can I lead my restricteds here? I guess the only thing Miraidon really does into Koraidon is Draco Meteor. Or actually Arceus pressures out the Terra, right? They do have Fake Out, guys. The Volcarona is actually an issue. I don't even hate the idea of setting Trick Room against this with a Farigiraf lead if they let me. And they might let me if I lead Arceus with it. I'm going to try that. I don't know if it's going to work. That feels kind of disjointed, actually. I am going to bring the Trick Room stuff, but I'll bring it in the back. I'm not really sure I have a super coherent mode into this matchup. I mean, the good thing here is I can, again, go Farigiraf to stop a Fake Out. If it's Quiver Dance Volcarona, though, that's a problem. I don't have much for that. Fiery Dance. That also will boost it, but not every time. This button is always so tempting, but let's just click Foul Play into Rillaboom here. I can see them going for Wood Hammer. We can get some more damage on it. Yeah, they do Wood Hammer Arceus. That actually does a lot. We don't do a ton back. Down to Protect here. Down to Trick Room. It's Quiver Dance Falk. Let's turn that into a disadvantage. That does mean Rillaboom will underspeed Arceus now, but I think we can live with that. In fact, let's try to remove Rillaboom right now. Do they KO Arceus? I don't love this for me if they do. Yeah, oops. Okay, but I get Ursaluna in Trick Room now, and if I get my burn, then I'm threatening massive damage into Volk. It didn't boost its defense because it can't do that. This would be a good time to have Psychic on Farigiraf. I think Growl might prove to not be very helpful. It's a tricky position, too. You know what? I'm just going to go for it. They might not have a clear Amulet. They don't. Ha! Let's go. They went for the boost on Volcarona. Do they protect Volcarona here? You know what? I don't think it matters if I Terra Ghost and I Growl again. I think Ursaluna should be fine to take a hit. Terra Grass Volk. I did not click Headlong Rush. That doesn't help. We got past that at least. We're now on the last turn of Trick Room. I assume the Shadow Rider is probably what's in the back. Oh no, it's Walking Wake. That might not have Protect. I can still Growl the Koraidon. Ugh. Let's see. They can't even Aqua Jet because of the Armor Tail. Yeah, Walking Wake just drops. Koraidon's at -2 attack. They clicked Close Combat into a Ghost type. I don't know if they're... I don't know if that was a form of rage quitting or they just forgot. But, alright, GG. Growl Farigiraf really shone there. Arguably more than Arceus did. Oh no, look at this. Oh dearie me. Is it Scarf Final Gambit Annihilate with Toxic Orb and Duo Tatsugiri so that they get somebody else in next to Dondozo, maybe even Kyogre to boost the Wave Crash with the rain? Is that what this is? Oh no. Oh, I can Rage Powder if that's what it is. Let's see. Miraidon, Volcarona, Arceus, Urshifu. Let's go. Is my mic working? Good. I always get scared for some reason. Well, because it sometimes stops cooperating with OBS. That actually is a real thing that gets me good sometimes. Honestly, if they just Final Gambit into Volk here, I think I can live with that. In fact, I'm going to click Discharge. So I'm probably... my Volk is probably going down here anyway. Yeah, okay. Annihilate trades itself for that. Take the Play Rough because we're not a Dragon type anymore, and that's now single target, just Discharge, taking out the Zacian. I'll go straight to Urshifu here, keep the pressure up. It's Dondozo and Kyogre. They didn't bring Tatsugiri. I hope it's not Scarf Ogre. But one way to find out. I'll hedge for that a little bit by clicking Close Combat into it with Scarf Urshifu. Ooh, Terra Ghost. Okay, not much of a hedge. But it's not Scarfed. But with the Terra Ghost, it does take... Oh, that's unfortunate for my opponent. It took a Discharge, but then it missed the Origin Pulse. Yeah, well, that was a quick one. I think I... Do I lose if they land the Origin Pulse? I'm not actually sure with Calm Mind Arceus. But missing it was just GG for them. Unfortunate. Alright, Darkrai. There's some Sableye Darkrai stuff. Darkrai, Sableye, Tornadus, Landorus, Kyogre, Indeedee. So Landorus and Indeedee give them some outs to Miraidon, which is an obvious check to Darkrai stuff. Nonetheless, I will look to take advantage of my Arceus not being able to fall asleep for a while. I'll just lead my restricted duo. I'll bring her Shifu. Could be powered up by rain, could overwhelm some of their stuff, except in their Tailwind, but there's not much I can do about that. I could bring Farigiraf to set Trick Room if they set Tailwind. But then in that case, would I rather have Ursaluna than Urshifu? I don't know, probably not. I'll bring Farigiraf anyway. Indeedee, Kyogre. Okay, so they get terrain control immediately. But they don't have sleep on the board. And I can Volt Switch out. I'll target Kyogre. They'll probably redirect it into Indeedee. But just getting damage into something here is nice. I don't know what comes in. Probably I'll just sack Farigiraf, but that's okay. But I'm looking for that Calm Mind with Arceus. Terra Ground. Oh, okay. Yeah, that didn't cross my mind. They could do that. Keep Miraidon stuck on the field. Do a lot of damage to it with that Water Spout. But here's the thing. Now I can sack Farigiraf. And if they don't set Trick Room, I can take out Indeedee with Urshifu very easily. In fact, I'll probably still click the Surging Strikes into Kyogre, because just chipping that would be nice if they let me. But if it gets redirected to Indeedee, that's fine. But it's doing enough damage to Arceus with the Water Spout that I would like to weaken that Water Spout. Okay, Farigiraf actually takes that. I don't know if I want to Calm Mind or Recover. I think we can slow this down and click Recover. I'm still sacking Farigiraf. Which doesn't feel great in this early game position, but if I get Urshifu in without any damage... Okay, good thing I didn't go for Calm Mind. If I get Urshifu in... Oh my god. If I get Urshifu in without any damage, then it's in a good spot to pressure them. I'm clicking the Surging Strikes into Kyogre because I want to weaken the Water Spout. But again, I guess I'll take the KO on Indeedee if that's what I get instead. Maybe I should recover here. No, I think that loses to... No, that doesn't lose to Helping Hand Water Spout, because if they do that, I weaken Kyogre. Okay, KO Indeedee. Water Spout takes both KOs. That was a roll. Oh well, it happens. I won the last game on an Origin Pulse miss. It's Pokemon. All these things happen. I guess I have to lock into Draco Meteor now, because I never beat Landorus otherwise. Finally got my revenge on the Kyogre, but yeah. GG, they got me good. Yeah, Arceus was at 55%, and the previous unassisted Water Spout had done a little bit less than that. So I was taking a risk there that maybe I shouldn't have, but it was a roll. This is an odd team. I don't quite know what I make of it. I mean, it looks like Tail Room, right? Kyogre can play slowly as a relatively slow restricted, or you can set Trick Room. Yeah, sorry, in Trick Room, or you can set Tailwind for it and just try to blast through things. Magearna likes Trick Room. Cresselia is good for Trick Room. Magearna and Palmet is an interesting duo, because with the Revival Blessing, you can basically get a free Soul Heart boost if you position it right, yeah? That's something I didn't think of myself. That's cool. I think I lead Miraidon for... No, I think I lead Restricteds. But I bring Farigiraf in the back. I misclicked Volcarona. I didn't want to bring that. I probably wanted to bring Ursaluna, but I hadn't thought that far into it yet. Gotta stop using this trackpad. I have a mouse, I just don't use it much. That was 2 double inputs in a row. I misclicked both restricteds, but it was what I intended to do anyway. So it was fine, but then I also misclicked. You think they set Trick Room with the Whimsicott and protect Magearna? I hope not. Then I also misclicked the next 2 Pokemon. Just Calm Mind Magearna. Okay, I'm pretty awkwardly positioned bringing Farigiraf in here. I guess I'll go for the Fiery Dance into Magearna. I mean, hey, Volcarona is a good defensive check to Magearna. I think I'd rather have Ursaluna in this game, but that might prove not to be the case. Never mind. Terra Dragon and Rain. This Fiery Dance and +2. This Fiery Dance is going to do not much at all. What do you think this Foul Play does to it? Now Struggle Bug to weaken the Kyogre. And still not much because it's a Magearna. It's not like it's a powerful physical attacker. This is a good duo as well because fire types resist Magearna's stabs, but then Kyogre covers them. I really like this team. Running into a lot of cool techs on the ladder while I'm still just messing around with the first things I thought of. Gotta get Magearna out of here, I think. I'll play Kyogre to weaken it a little bit more. This is the last turn of their Tailwind, so Arceus should still be slower than stuff. That also means, yeah, it's a pretty easy protect for them, huh? Magearna, I think, will underspeed Arceus now. And certainly Miraidon. Well, it can't KO both at the same time here, can it? I don't know. I'm just going to throw off my super effective attacks and see what happens. Ice Beam Miraidon. Freeze would have been bad for me, but they didn't get it. Look at that Magearna's stats, though. And it's getting that Leftovers recovery. And who's next? If it's Whimsicott, then... I mean, that's probably just GG, right? I can stall out my own Trick Room, but then Whimsicott gets a Tailwind back up from Magearna. This is a really cool team. Palmet. That's not great either because it gets Fake Out, but I'm going to click Electro Drift into Magearna and Protect. At least they don't have Tailwind on the board immediately. That might actually give me an out. They have Revival Blessing on the board though, and I haven't even broken the Focus Sash that it probably has. No reason not to Terra Fairy here. It does nothing at all in this position except boost my damage. Revival Blessing into Kyogre. Magearna's gone, and gone for good because they used the Revival Blessing. Now Whimsicott gets the Tailwind. If I have an out here, it probably involves this not being Encore Whimsicott and letting me set up Calm Mind. Even then, though, it's not like I have leftovers on Arceus, so yeah, see, I'm accumulating damage. That was their one double shock. If it's not Encore Whimsicott, which it surely is, but this is the out that I'm playing toward. If it somehow isn't, I get a recover here. Yeah, of course. But what do I say? Always play to your outs. I mean, that's what pretty much anyone will tell you. And you have seen it work on this channel sometimes. It was worth a shot. GG to this opponent. Really cool team. I might want to see if I can reverse engineer some of it. I think this could be worth a try. For now, we go get another game. And we're back to this stuff. In fact, I think this is the same opponent again. Well, let's see. Indeedy, Kyogre. Very familiar duo. This time I know that it's Terra Ground and Deity. I'm not falling for that this time. Maybe I can get a second Calm Mind. And the rolls will be a bit more favorable, huh? Okay. I hate that this is the same basic game plan, but this is what I've committed to. Let's try not to foul play my own Arceus. Not that it matters, Fergraf isn't getting an attack off here. Now I get her Shifu in. Am I sure I don't want Miraidon here? If I still have Protective... If I had to save Protect on Arceus this turn, then Discharge Miraidon would be good, but I don't. Recover. Surging Strikes into Kyogre. They'll redirect it, but Recover will get Arceus through this turn in one piece, probably. Unless they crit me. Wow, Urshifu survived this one. Alright, that's a bit of a difference in the rolls this time. Rain ends pretty soon anyway. I want to Surging Strike the Kyogre. I'm really tempted, but I think it's better to Surging Strike the Landorus. That, of course, also creates an opening for Miraidon in the back, which this time is still at full health. They're not winning with Landorus this game, at least. They will take out Urshifu here, but yeah, now... it could be a Rain Dance Tornadus in the back. That would probably be bad for me, but actually... It's Sableye. Oh, now that I've changed it to Rain, Sableye can use Quash and stuff here. I'm gonna go for a double per... No, I'm not. I think they might just take out Arceus here, but... Hopefully I can win with Miraidon if that happens. But yeah, I don't really have much counterplay for Quash in this position. Okay, they don't attack with Kyogre. That should be good news for me. It could be... Does Sableye get Rain Dance? Oh, knockoff into Fairy Arceus is not doing anything. You can't even remove the plate. Does Sableye get Rain Dance? Don't know. Oh, is it Encore Disable stuff? Did I just throw? Are they all Encore Disable stuff now? Sableye gets so many moves. I'm not really expecting it to run this consistently, but maybe that's what it's doing. Encore Arceus into what? Calm Mind? Miraidon's KO'd. Arceus is just not taking those water spouts well enough. I guess I have to start expecting Encore Disable Sableye every time. That's annoying. That game was going so much better than the previous attempt, and then it took a frustrating turn. I think we can leave this episode here. Team held up somewhat better than I expected, but Fairy Calm Mind Arceus was not very good. I think bulky Calm Mind stuff in general is having some trouble in this format we've seen over the last 2 episodes, but also Arceus not even having passive recovery. I didn't give it any on this team. I didn't even run Rillaboom, because I ran the other terrain that would prevent sleep from Darkrai. So yeah, these Calm Mind setup Pokemon, some of these would have worked better in Reg I think. Arceus is obviously not usable in Reg I. Extreme Speed Arceus or Perish Song Arceus might have been fun here, but I didn't want to go straight back to normal Arceus after I used that in my first Reg J video. Maybe Perish Song Fairy Arceus would have been fun. That might be worth an experiment sometime. But in the meantime, I don't know, Reg J is really something. This format is nuts, and I am enjoying it. I think you have to embrace the chaos to an extent to enjoy it, and I don't mind doing that, but I think there are going to be some ups and downs here. I think I'm going to get frustrated at some points. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, back to the wheel next time, and we'll see then what's next.